Are we in? Is it working?
I think
Motherfucker. Okay. Action. All right, Rory, how's it going?
Good, man.
Whereabouts are you? You're in the land of the jungle, but you're hidden away.
Jiangxi, Ganzhou.
You're in Ganzhou. And what's the virus doing up there? You're stuck on you're stuck in the city, or are you allowed to come back to Shenzhen?
I think I'm good to go to Shenzhen, but I think I need to get back fast. They're starting to have more restrictions for Chinese New Year, but I don't know, we'll see. We've been told to be careful because they're worried about it getting bad again, but I don't know, man. What's Shenzhen like? Is it still all right?
Yeah, it's okay for the time being. But yeah, COVID, among other things, has prevented us from getting in a good update to our many fans in the combat world.
60 fans.
So we're doing what we're adapting, right?
Yeah.
We're adapting to the digital age, and we're getting on the Zoom, and we're getting this Zoom call in, bro. We're gonna do it all over Zoom from going forward. Right. COVID or no COVID. No delays. So this is the return, right? The return of In the Ring with Rory. Digital.
6 months too late.
Yes. So what's happening in the boxing world, and not only in the combat world?
Everything.
MMA, there's a lot of things happening.
Well, I mean, we had a terrible year with COVID for most cases, except from fighting. The fighting more in 2020 was better than it's ever been. I mean, what the UFC done with FightIsland was fucking incredible. Remember at the beginning of the year, everything was ending, and Dana White's like, I'm just going to make a fucking island. I'm going to make a bubble in the middle of Abu Dhabi and do the fights there. So
he saved 2020 combat, didn't he?
Yeah, definitely.
He saved it. Saved the year.
I was trying to pick my top 5 boxing in the UFC for 2020. And
top 5 fights.
Top 5 fights, yeah. I completely forgot that Fury versus Deontay Wilder 2.
That's it. That was
February.
That was it. That was lockdown. It was lockdown, China lockdown, right?
We watched that in the pub, didn't we? Mid-lockdown.
Yeah. And we had to go in the back door, remember? They were like, you can't, they were worried. So that's got to be up there, right? That's got to be up to the top, one of the best fights of 2020.
Yeah, for me, boxing I had Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury 2. I enjoyed Lomachenko Lopez. That was like a reminder. That was like a big reminder that boxing was back, and it was like a big event. I enjoyed recently.
Lopez.
Yeah, Teofimo Lopez. Did you see that Ryan Garcia last week?
Ryan Garcia, yes. Oh, that liver shot.
Yeah.
That was a very good fight.
I'm not sure about him fighting Gervonta Davis so quickly though.
Yeah, I don't think he's quite ready for that.
Yeah.
But he's Golden Boy Promotions, right? And they hate Floyd Mayweather, so I think that's where Oscar De La Hoya is pressuring him to fight Tank.
Yeah.
I think that's.
It's just money. I think Ryan Garcia should fight Devin Haney. Remember last podcast we spoke about Devin Haney being the lightweight champion.
That's it. Yes.
Ryan Garcia should fight Devin Haney, get his own real belt, the WBC belt, and then he can challenge who he wants. The guy's only 22.
Yes, 22 years old.
You don't want to fucking get rid of all your big fights that early. Just take it slow. The guy's a big name for the future, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he is the 12th most marketable athlete. Like Cristiano Ronaldo maybe being in the top 5, Tiger Woods, let's say, or LeBron James. He's number 12 in the world, most marketable athlete.
How do they score that?
I'll send you the article. He's let me get this right. Yeah. He is the number 1 most engaging pro boxer that's active right now, most engaging on social media. His hits and his engagement is higher than
comments and shit like that.
Yeah, his last post, the last promo post that he did was for Shark Tank, and it was like 1.5 million responses or engagements, as they call it. Yeah. So Shark Tank did Gymshark. They did really well with getting him on board. He's always wearing Gymshark, right? Yeah, he's a good kid. He's got a big future. Big.
Gervonta Davis is different fucking level right now, though.
Okay.
Gervonta Davis.
Yeah.
I mean, that was actually one of my biggest fights of this year. Gervonta Davis, when he knocked out Leo Santa Cruz last month.
That's right, the uppercut, right?
It was a fucking peach. Yeah. That was another
Yeah,
one.
he's a bit more stocky than Ryan, right? He's not as Ryan's a little bit more leaner, right? Longer.
Ryan's a child. Gervonta Davis is like an adult.
Yeah. Yeah. But he has like 2 kids, right? How many kids does Ryan have? He's got like.
Does he have kids?
He has kids. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Guy's been busy.
Yeah, he's a young kid with kids. But yeah, let's see how his oh, who else have you got here? You've got, okay, Deontay Wilder. Oh, White and Povetkin, right? That was a big uppercut of the year.
That was massive. Like the whole event, having it in Eddie Hearn's back garden, him creating this bubble for Matchroom and the Matchroom headquarters, White, Povetkin finally fighting, White giving up his mandatory to try and fight Povetkin and then get knocked out in that kind of fashion.
That's it, yes. Yeah.
And it was a good fight. He was winning the fight up until the knockout.
And what did that change for? Oh, no, that was a WBC belt, but it was some platinum or diamond. It was some other, we've got to do a podcast, right? Nobody can I can't even catch up with all these belts, right?
White Povetkin didn't have a real belt. They might have had some kind of WBC belt, but it wasn't the real belt. Because Fury had the WBC at the time. So there's no way that a real jet. It might have been for some fucking Matchroom WBC bullshit, but it wasn't actually a real belt.
Yeah, they make them up all the time now. Oh, and finally here you've got Mike Tyson, Roy Jones Jr., the first official exhibition fight of 2020. Oh, that was incredible.
That was fun, yeah.
Yeah,
wasn't
so good.
That was fun.
Yeah. Do you know?
There's a cake in
there's so much noise about that fight, and Mike Tyson he's got his League of Legends. He's gonna be doing it again and again. There's supposed to be one every 3 months or something with Tyson. Yeah. And I think they're pulling in all these other celebrities and other old retired fighters. There's a lot coming with this promotion, right?
Did we do the podcast about who does Tyson fight next?
Yeah, no, we haven't done this yet.
Nah,
we haven't done this.
That's ready to go. That's ready to fucking print.
That's it. Okay. Yeah, that one you can do when you first come back from Ganzhou. You can do that one first. That one we got to get out quick for the fans.
Yeah.
They want to know what's next for Mike Tyson. Did you see him and Jake Paul and him encouraging Jake Paul to call out Conor McGregor and speak shit about him, speak shit. Yeah.
So the one where Mike Tyson ate 4 grams of mushrooms just in one go in Logan Paul's podcast. Did you see that? Logan Paul's he bought like mushrooms and some weed for the guys to smoke in the podcast. Mike Tyson just grabbed the whole stash and just ate it. He's like, that's nothing, man. That's nothing.
Oh my God. Yeah. He must just be on hallucinogens all day, every day, just to calm his mind from going to those dark places where he can kill people.
Yeah. I had to include Tyson Jones Jr. just because it wasn't the greatest fight of the year, but it was so much fucking fun. It was one of those big events that everyone just watched. Your friends, everyone was out for it, you know what I mean?
That's it. Yeah, and I'm keen for if he fights Evander, that'll be even bigger, right? Because they're old rivals, right? Yeah. Evander's still missing an ear, right? That's gonna be good. All right, so we're going on to what? UFC top 5. These are Rory's top 5 UFC events for 2020.
Right. So
take it away. Who's the first?
I broke it down into fights, but I think there's one obvious event, and that was UFC 249. Remember when Ferguson was fight Khabib, and he pulled out because of COVID, and that was the first big card. Was it the Jacksonville Arena, Florida?
Jacksonville, that's right.
Yeah, that was the first one bubble UFC event. And they had Ferguson Gaethje, Cejudo Cruz, and Ngannou with that knockout with Rosenstrike. Stevens versus Stevens versus Keita, Cowboy Pettis. It was a fucking huge card. Do you remember watching that? Watching that in Jaws and Dragon?
That's right. Yeah, I remember that one.
Card. And then two of my favourite fights of the year happened in that card. It was Justin Gaethje Ferguson. And also, you probably missed it, was Vincent Luque versus Nico Price 2. It was a fucking great fight, and Vincent Luque managed to rip Nico Price's eye socket out. So Price got a cut here, and he got a cut along here, and the referee had to stop it because his eye was going to fall out.
Oh, man. Wow. Okay. Got to look this one up.
Look up, man. It's fucking amazing.
Got to look that up. Wow.
Yeah. Such a good fight. That was, I only caught that by chance. I watched it before I came to the pub to meet you guys.
Okay.
Yeah, his eye socket was like almost hanging out his face.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's brutal. Yeah. But Justin Gaethje, Tony Ferguson, that was a big upset, right? Tony Ferguson preparing to fight, you know, obviously a big ground war, but then Gaethje coming out and just striking, right?
Yeah, it was just violence, wasn't it? It was just absolutely violent. A great fight. And
yeah, Dustin Poirier and Hooker was very good. That was another big violent. I remember that one. Yeah.
I think oh, thanks, mate. See that?
You get a kick.
Man.
Nice. Nice.
Mango.
Big factory with hundreds of people. It's got to be someone's birthday, right? There's got to be cake going around. Wow, that's nice.
Dustin Poirier, for his last 8 fights, I think all 8 of them have either been fight of the night or performance of the night. I think for 4 years he's not been involved in a fight that's not been given some kind of award. Really?
All right. So this upcoming fight we'll talk about later with Conor McGregor. We got to talk about that. Predictions there. Yeah, that's going to be very soon. That's as early as that's just next week. Yeah, that's next week.
2 weeks.
Wow. 2 weeks. Okay.
But yeah, I mean the rest of the UFC for the year is just the obvious ones. Last month we had Figueiredo versus Moreno, which was a great fight. It could have went either way if it wasn't for the point deduction. They'll probably have a rematch soon. And then obviously fight of the year, Zhang Weili, Joanna Jędrzejczyk.
Yeah, that's right. With Joanna with her head blowing up, right?
Yeah, it's fucking amazing. This is actually you guys go next door, yeah?
Yeah, the that fight that was what Fighters Magazine, they listed that top fight of the year. A few other people, a few other organizations also rated that top fight, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. And it was, if you watch that fight again, it's back and forth. None of I mean, like you would expect them to drop at any time, and they're still, still standing, still fighting right till when the bell goes, right? So
yeah, it was a good thing. Have you spoken to what's his name? What's the trainer's name again?
Ruben. Yeah, Ruben moved to the U.S. He's based in the U.S. now. The communication is difficult, different time zones, and I'm not sure people in the U.S. they don't use WeChat, right? So they use WhatsApp or some other chatting.
I remember him saying that he was going to move back, but I didn't know when that was happening.
Yeah, Zhang Weili is still in Beijing. Li Jingliang, Yan Shan, and all of them are still in Beijing. I think Li Jingliang has a fight soon, right? But isn't that in Singapore or something?
No. It's on Fight Island. It's next.
It's on Fight Island. Okay. So he's got to get his butt over to Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
If that's still on, right?
Yeah.
But yes. All right. What's the latest with Joshua and Fury? Ooh.
Joshua Fury.
I've got some noise about this as well.
And you first.
Yeah. So his management company MTK. It used to be called MGM, which was Macaulay's Gym Mania or something like this, right? But do you know a guy by the name of Daniel Kinahan?
Yeah.
Daniel Kinahan, right?
Yeah.
He's this big cartel family.
Yeah.
This Irish guy, a good friend of mine over in Hong Kong, who's big into fight, he's been sending me links, and I've been reading the whole story about Daniel Kinahan and his involvement into this big super fight with. He's actually he secured. Didn't he secure the Dante fights as well? I think he was crucial in securing him.
There was some kind of controversy, wasn't there? Some kind of controversy about that, where he got arrested or something.
Yeah, I mean, he's been there's things that he's been he hasn't been ever convicted, but he's been arrested, with ties to shootings and drugs and everything like this. So very interesting. His what was it? 6 months ago, he announced that the Joshua fight's happening over there in the Middle East, and Tyson Fury got onto Instagram and said, "Thanks, Daniel. Good job, Danny boy. Helping me get this fight." And all the media in the UK was like, "Whoa!" He actually very clearly shows the involvement of this guy Kinahan Daniel Kinahan into his fights, because it was always a bit vague before. Daniel would deny it. He'd be like, no, I'm not part of MTK. I'm not involved. I'm just sort of supporting their friends. But he would always say he's not directly involved in the matchmaking or the formulation of this big super fight. But then when Tyson Fury did that Instagram video, all the media went crazy. They were like, what? And it was, how can this guy be involved in such high level boxing? And because all of the world's top boxing managers all have good things to say about him. So they're all kind of just letting him come through and organize this big fight. I don't know. I don't have an opinion on him myself. If he can make the fight happen, then great. But there's so much negative media about him, right?
Yeah.
With his ties to
getting shit off the guys, aren't you? Jay.
Yeah.
He says, yeah, there's loads of shit about him. So is he involved with the Joshua Fury, or has he been told to take a back seat?
Joshua Fury. And to date, I haven't found anything that just says otherwise, that he's not involved now. I think the only way that he wouldn't be involved is if he himself took a back seat and sort of hid away and let it happen. But as far as I know, I think he's still pushing it through.
The latest I read today was that the delays are because of, there's two things that are happening. There's the stuff that we know about. Obviously, Eddie Hearn doesn't want to do it in the UK because it will dramatically reduce the purse. They can't get a crowd, and that's worth millions and millions. They want to do it in a country where they can get a crowd and get ticket money.
Okay, yeah.
We know before that was between the Middle East and China.
Okay.
But recently, they said that it's between three now. It's between the Middle East, China, and Singapore. So Singapore might host the fight. Hopefully, it's China. If it's China, we'll go live.
That's a lot easier.
Yeah.
How crazy would that be, right? How insane. So, but someone like Eddie Hearn with it, what kind of does he know the situation in China as far as fans go?
I don't know. I don't think doing it in China is a very good idea.
Yeah, I'm not sure he'd get fans.
China won't care about cancelling the event for COVID. It's too risky. Do you know what I mean? Like they wouldn't. We've been told to not have gatherings over 50 people in Shenzhen. You can't have gatherings over 50 people. So I don't know how you're going to host an event in Beijing for 90,000. I just don't think you're going to get that approved. I
just don't think, and if that is going to be approved, we have to have seen it done a few times before an international fight comes. I
don't know, man. I just don't see it happening while COVID's still a thing. I don't think China would sanction a fight like that, not with so many people.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like something.
And I think the Middle East would be the best bet. There's the Bahrain family. Yeah. They're the ones. They're the big key.
Look at what Dana White's done with the UFC in Abu Dhabi. The bubble for the UFC is not just Fight Island. The whole city has to get tested once a week in Abu Dhabi.
Oh, okay.
So the bubble's not just this dome for the UFC. The bubble is the entire city of Abu Dhabi is clean. So when you've got stuff like that, in the Middle East, they've got the money, they've got the COVID bubble. I reckon the first Joshua Fury fight is going to definitely be in the Middle East. It has to be.
Then people would have to fly there, right? And they'd have to, maybe stay there for 2 weeks before the fight, prior to the fight, including Fury and Joshua themselves. Yeah. They would have to be there, and in in this quarantine, wouldn't they? I mean, isn't that how it would work? Kind of.
The second thing that's come out in the past couple of days is that our old friend, fucking Deontay Wilder, is back in the scene. They've hired a third-party investigation to look into the contract between Fury and Wilder for the rematch. So he's still pushing for the rematch. He's
still going. Yeah. I mean, in that Instagram post early on that came out mentioning Daniel Kinahan, Tyson Fury says, yes, he's done it. He's gotten the fight. You're going to see me versus Joshua, but there's one thing I've got to get through first is I got to get through Dante. So I got to get that out of the way. I got to have that third fight, and then I'll move on to Joshua. So he is 6 months ago has said, yes, I do need to honor that contract. I think if it's only within the last couple of months that there's been an idea like, no, I'm not going to honor that third fight contract.
Well, it was Deontay Wilder kept postponing. It was supposed to be July, and I think Wilder said he hurt his bicep, and then it was going to be there was like another date. I don't know if it was October. Something else happened. Wilder said, okay, December, and Fury's like, we'll do it in December, and then he delayed it again. He went quiet, and by that point, Fury was like, fuck this. This is a waste. I'm going to go after Joshua. So he was supposed to fight in the UK December. That didn't happen, and he's going to go for Joshua. I think that's Fury's camp's idea. So if it's going to be anything but, it has to be Joshua Fury next.
Yeah, that would make sense. Here you've got what, 100 million each.
Apparently, that's the prices that Eddie Hearn's talking about. If they can pull it off in a place like the Middle East, each fighter will make over 100 million each.
Is that a lot though? That doesn't seem like a lot. Is that a lot?
$100 million.
Floyd Mayweather keeps confusing me with what's a lot and what's not. Every time I look at purses, I'm always thinking like, wait, if Floyd's making that much, how are they? Yeah. And like, so, okay. Yeah. So like the YouTube guys, Logan and KSI, they made about $1 million US. Yeah. That was like their take.
They made a lot more in sponsorship and shit like that. But like the McGregor Mayweather fight, I think McGregor made 60 million. 60
million. Okay.
Roughly.
Okay. So 100 mil, and if they fight in Abu Dhabi, what's the tax situation? Do they get like to?
I've got no idea what the tax situation is in Abu Dhabi. Probably pretty good.
Yeah.
Probably pretty good.
Yeah. Because that'd be a question for Daniel Kinahan. If I was Tyson Fury and MTK obviously is my management company, and this is indirectly owned and run by some guy that's somewhat shady, I'd be like, hey, listen, about that 100 million, how do we make all of that come to me, right? Like, I don't want to be losing it in different places.
Abu Dhabi probably has some favorable tax situation, but I don't know.
Yeah. Which would be another good reason why to put it there versus having it in the UK or in the US. Forget the US.
It's not happening in the US and the UK anytime soon. The US and the UK, they've got at least 6 months of this shit left. But I was hoping I was hoping for an announcement pretty quickly after the Joshua Pulev fight, but it still seems to be dragging on a bit. But I don't see how it can happen. Hopefully, Eddie Hearn says in the next 2 weeks they should have a location and a date on the next 2 weeks. So.
Okay, a location and a date. It's like, woof, once that happens, it's like the only thing that can go wrong is COVID. Some massive outbreak, or something really. If it really gets bad, then they're going to say, yep, sorry, we have to cancel again. That's it. That's we all know the deal.
Yeah.
But it's true. COVID's the main inhibitor to all of this, I would say.
Yeah.
Because the location. When you're confined to locations, then you're having to negotiate with just a few people. Whereas if you have all these other people to negotiate with, you can leverage them off each other and say, who's going to give me the best? And then we can make it happen. But yeah.
If it wasn't for COVID, it would be at Wembley in the UK. Easy.
That's it. Yeah, exactly. And it would have been signed, done long time ago. Long time. All right. What do you got? Fight Island. First live television since what 2018? What's this?
So
what's this? What's our next?
UFC's back on Fight Island from next week. January 16th. The UFC's back on Fight Island, and this is going to be obviously UFC is owned by the whole kind of Disney conglomerate thing. They're part of this big Disney family now. And up until now, the free fights have been on ESPN network. The fight next week is going to be the first one since 2018 that's going to be free on network television.
Free on network television.
So it's going to be on ABC network for the first time. It's not going to be on ESPN. So that's a huge audience. It's going to be a lot more eyes on the fights. You don't have to have ESPN Plus to watch the main card. You can watch it for free on ABC. All the prelims, all the main event will all be free on ABC network channel.
Really? That makes it so much easier, right? Wow.
They haven't announced the details of how many fights will be in ABC, how many fights will be in ESPN, how many will pay-per-view, anything like that. But they just said that this fight next week, they're going to try on cable TV, network TV for the US.
Why are they doing that, you think? What's the purpose?
Well, it's more viewers. Network television has more viewers than ESPN Plus. So it's part of the whole Disney. I mean, ABC is still owned by Disney. It's still part of the same umbrella. And I guess marketing perspective, but it's good for the UFC. Network television is obviously more popular and easier to watch and viewed by a lot more people than ESPN Plus.
I see. Yeah. So do you think that was something he was pushing to be able to get it on a
it definitely seems like a benefit, so it'll be something he's definitely involved with, yeah.
Wow, okay. That's interesting. Since 2018. Wow. Yeah. So which fights? We got 3. We got, obviously the last one is Conor, right? That's the final. Ooh, that's Poirier and Conor. So the first one.
So we've got the first fight in the main card is Max Holloway, who came off the 2 fights with Volkanovski. And Volkanovski won both fights. The second fight was it was close. A lot of people thought Holloway won that fight. So Holloway wanted to fight Volkanovski. That looks like it's not happening, and he needs to fight now Calvin Kattar, who's he's a massive star in the featherweight division. If Holloway wins, he's back in contention. If Calvin Kattar wins, then beating Max Holloway is one of the greatest featherweights of UFC ever. It'd be massive for Calvin Kattar. And they both love striking. It's going to be an interesting fight. It's going to be an exciting fight. And I'm sure it'll be good. All the fights in UFC FightIsland are always good, and this is a great way to start. So last time Kattar fought was at UFC 249, where he KO'd Jeremy Stephens brutally. And then he had a 5-round decision against Dan Ige. So Holloway obviously coming off the Volkanovski fight. This will be a massive, massive fight. Mm-hmm. Moving down the card, we've got Carlos Condit, who probably should have retired 4 or 5 years ago, but he's always exciting to watch.
Yeah, he was part of that big super card that was back, when COVID first hit, right? He fought against, he lost it, right?
It was his first.
Oh, yeah.
Condit was his first win in like 4 or 5 fights. And he's fighting Matt Brown, who obviously also should have retired quite a long time ago. So we'll see how this one goes. I've always liked.
Yeah, he fought against Cejudo. It was Cejudo, right? That was his last fight.
You're thinking of Cejudo versus Dominic Cruz.
Dominic Cruz, yeah, that's right. I'm thinking of Dominic Cruz.
Yeah,
Carlos Condit. Yeah, that's. Oh, I know Carlos Condit. Yes, yeah.
A big, tall, lanky guy that had the war with Rory McDonald.
Rory McDonald, yes, yeah. Rory McDonald, isn't he in Bellator now?
Yeah, I've not really been following it, but he's in Bellator now. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he lost his title fight. But after Carlos Condit, we've got Li Jingliang.
Yeah, that's right. And then he, okay. And this guy that he's fighting against, what's his sort of background? Is Li Jingliang have a chance here?
Yeah, I mean, he's a step up. Li Jingliang won his last fight. Li Jingliang needs to win this, and he needs to win it in decent fashion. If he loses this fight, then there's going to be a lot of question marks against Li Jingliang. He needs to come out. His fights for the past 3 or 4 years have been hit and miss. He either comes out swinging, but when he gets to the big fights in Vegas, Li Jingliang's flat-footed, and he never really comes to perform. So this is a really big opportunity for him, especially on the ABC network. For him to put on a good performance on the UFC's first fight on ABC television, that'll be really good for him. If he loses it, it'll be in the opposite direction. Li Jingliang needs a big win to stay relevant.
Yeah, he's lost his last 2 fights, right?
Something like that, yeah. He's not in a very good streak. He needs a good win this time to get back on track.
Yeah, he fought against, in Shenzhen, it was Elaisu. He won that fight.
And then
knockout. He did very good.
Then he went to Vegas and lost.
Yeah, and then he fought against Magny. Neil
Magny. He fought against Neil Magny and lost.
Tore him up.
He lost. He looked terrible doing it.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, wish him the best on that. That's a tough one.
And on the undercard, do you recognise the name Joaquin Buckley?
Joaquin Buckley, no.
Joaquin Buckley is the guy that had the knockout of 2020. That when he caught his leg and he spun round and Bruce Lee chopped him in the face.
Oh, and he spun around.
Yeah, that's him.
Really? Yes. Okay. Yeah, everyone was trying that, right? The little, the karate kick. So he got caught and then he spun around. Yeah.
Kicked him in the So Joaquin Buckley is that guy. So these are the highlights from that card. Obviously, FightIsland always has good cards from top to bottom. And this is the highlights from next week's card. It's going to be free on ABC. You can watch it on Fight Pass. And we can watch it on Sporty, I guess. In China, you can watch it on Sporty.
Nice. And going to the bar, like say George and Dragon, would they just play ABC, yeah?
George and Dragon can watch it. You have an ABC stream. George and the Dragon have got access to all the UFC fights. All the boxing, all of the UFC. George and the Dragon can show them live.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, moving on.
So we've got
Neil Magny.
20th of January.
The 20th of January.
Magny, yeah, here he is.
Neil Magny. The thing is, do you remember last month, Chimaev, the guy that never loses, the guy that was knocking people out in 13 seconds? Chimaev.
Yeah, the teeth. He's got his fucked up teeth. Yeah, his lip thing.
Chimaev was supposed to fight Leon Edwards last month. That got cancelled because Leon Edwards got COVID. That fight was supposed to headline January 20th at Fight Island, but now Chimaev's got COVID, so it's been cancelled.
Now he's got COVID.
Chimaev's got COVID, so that's now been cancelled. And Michael Chiesa versus Neil Magny is now the headline card. So one worth watching. The rest of the card's not that good. I would have preferred to have seen Chimaev versus Leon Edwards, but that is what it is. But the big one, the following week, January 23rd.
Yeah, did you see with a little funny one with Chimaev? You know, if you look at his Instagram, like in 2019, his followers, it was like 1,000 followers, and then it jumped to like 1 million or something. And like he was like he has had like a huge fan base that has just skyrocketed, right?
Yeah, he's massive now, isn't he?
Yeah.
They're calling him the prince.
All right.
The prince for the new Dagestani prince, and they're taking over Khabib's fucking mantle.
Yeah, that's right.
Moving on to the big one, January 20th.
Right.
We've got
Conor
McGregor 2. So this is a rematch from their first fight 6 years ago. Where Conor McGregor knocked him out in the first round.
Yes.
Now they were both different fighters back then. The big thing about this is Dustin Poirier since then has looked amazing. He's moved up to lightweight, and he's looked fantastic in all of his fights. He's only lost really to Khabib when the Khabib fought in Abu Dhabi. So Dustin Poirier is a much more rounded fighter, and a lot of people think he can do it this time. But then again, Conor McGregor, when he's focused and he's ready and he's in good form, he's also unstoppable. This one's going to be a great fight, especially because they're both fighting at lightweight. They're both more comfortable at lightweight. It's their natural fighting weight. They don't have to do big weight cuts. They'll both be coming into this fight in prime shape, and it's going to be a belter.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah. I mean, the big question is if it's going to be for the belt. Khabib has vacated the belt officially, and the UFC haven't really accepted that yet. So Khabib said himself that he expects the winner of this fight to get the belt. So whether it's as a reward for this fight, or whoever wins this next will fight for the belt. Khabib said himself that at some point, whoever wins this fight at 257 in 2 weeks' time should be the lightweight champion at some point. Khabib says he's done. Dana White's refusing to accept it, but Khabib says he's over. Belt's vacant.
Wow. Okay.
So we'll see. Okay. Dan Hooker versus Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler is the 2-division champion from Bellator. They came across to the UFC. He's the 2-time lightweight champion from Bellator, who is highly rated. He's looked good in Bellator, but the UFC is not Bellator. The greatest fighters in the world fight in the UFC, and Dan Hooker, who he's fighting, is a fantastic fight for him to get into it. If Michael Chandler can beat Dan Hooker, he's a genuine contender. But Dan Hooker, I reckon, is going to smash him. I reckon Dan Hooker's going to fizzle that.
Dan Hooker, New Zealand guy, right?
Yeah.
Trains down New Zealand.
The guy that fought Dustin Poirier early in the year.
Yeah, he's a good fighter. Yeah, he's very good.
Yeah, there's loads to come. So we've got Amanda Ribas. Amanda Ribas is the Brazilian girl that destroyed Paige Van Zandt. Remember the one at the last Fight Island? She put in the armbar, and it was a round two.
No.
Paige. So Megan Ribas is fighting Jojo Calderwood, who gave up a shot against Shevchenko. Lost a shot against Shevchenko, and then lost to Jennifer Maia, who then got the title shot against Shevchenko. So this is Jojo Calderwood's first fight back since she lost to Jennifer Maia. So that should be a big one for her.
Okay.
And then on the undercard, Shane Burgos was in one of the best fights of 2020. His fight in 2020 in UFC ESPN 11, I believe it was. His fight was magic, and he's fighting Dawodu, who's the guy that beat your man. Who was the guy? Was he also from New Zealand? The guy that was training at your gym? What was his name?
De La Rosa.
De La Rosa.
Mark De La Rosa.
And there was someone else. Carl. I can't remember his name.
New
Carlson.
Zealand guy. Oh, Kai.
Kai.
Yeah.
So
Kai.
Dawodu beat Kai recently, and now Dawodu versus Shane Burgos. So that'll be a great fight on the card to watch.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Dan Hooker trains with Kai and Israel Adesanya, but Israel Adesanya and Kai, they train together.
Yeah,
I'm not sure though.
I think it's Volkanovski as well, trains at the same camp,
Yeah. Yeah, they're all. There's a lot of fighters coming out.
Yeah,
it's good.
So
February 13th. Oh, Weidman and Uriah. Finally, Uriah's COVID clear. Yeah. Was he the guy that got COVID? He was, or was it his opponent? No. He got COVID. He was supposed to fight Anderson Silva. No, he did fight Anderson Silva.
He beat Anderson Silva.
Yeah, the guy that he got Anderson Silva because the other guy he was going to fight got COVID. Is that right? Is that how it went?
It was supposed to be Romero. He was supposed to fight Yoel Romero. Romero pulled
Yoel Romero.
Anderson Silva instead. And I was back again against Chris Weidman. It's a big fight for both of them.
Yeah,
March 6th, that'll be UFC 258. We've got Adesanya moving up in weight to fight for the light heavyweight title.
This is exciting. Yeah, this is a really exciting fight. That is exciting.
Adesanya versus Jan Blachowicz.
Pure scariness. He's
Polish power.
He's crazy. Yeah. Yes.
And then we've got Amanda.
Okay, and then Amanda. Ah, nice. But Amanda will destroy it. Amanda needs to beat the shit out of Jake Paul. That's the fight. She needs to get Jake Paul.
Amanda Nunes in contract to Jake Paul, and Jake Paul said no.
Why? Do you think? Okay, a funny question. Do you think Dana just did that for shits and giggles, or was he like absolutely serious? I think he just did it just to fuck with it. He just did it to be like, hey, stay in your place, you little YouTuber.
You know, on the off chance that he said yes, how fun would it be to watch Amanda Nunes pace the fuck out of Jake Paul for 45 minutes? That'd be amazing. 25 minutes.
Yeah. I would definitely put my money on Nunes over Jake Paul. Sorry.
And then there's a few small boxing fights, but after that, we've got the big one coming up on February 20th, which is Mayweather versus Logan Paul.
Yeah, that's
February 20th. I mean, look at those records. Floyd Mayweather's 150 professional fights, lost 0. Logan Paul has won 0 and lost 1. And they're fighting. Yeah. It's ridiculous, man. But
Sweet, right? And there's a massive weight difference too.
There's a huge weight difference. Logan Paul's a heavyweight, and they said that it's going to be a real fight and that there can be knockouts. So they said it, as much as it's been billed as an exhibition, apparently the rule set won't be the same as Tyson Jones. They're going to allow knockouts. So
wow. Okay. Yeah, that'll be exciting. We got to do a special video just for this fight.
Yeah, later in the year, once it becomes clear who's fighting the undercard, exactly what the weight's going to be, what the rules are going to be, we'll do a podcast covering the whole thing.
Yeah, that's it. Nice. Oh, Joseph Parker's coming in. Okay, for Junior Fa. Okay.
Junior Fa's undefeated. So Joseph Parker was supposed to fight Junior Fa a couple of weeks ago. It got delayed because of COVID. And Sergey Kovalev, the big light heavyweight, who his last fight was against Canelo. He lost to Canelo when Canelo moved up in weight. He's fighting some guy with an incredibly Russian name. But that's going to be in Moscow.
Okay.
So Kovalev fighting in Moscow will be a big deal. That's going to stream on DAZN.
Nice. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's pretty much it. That was quite a lot to cover in the half round we've done, but
loads to cover. Yeah, that was very good.
But 2020, 2020 was massive for fights, and 2021 starting off perfect. We'll get Fight Island with Conor McGregor, and then hopefully at some point in the next 2 weeks we'll see an announcement for Fury Joshua, and then we'll have whatever the fuck this is going to be in February with Mayweather. So there's loads to look forward to over the next 2 months.
Yeah, that's right. Thanks so much, dude. You've given us a good recap, not only of the best fights in 2020, but also the fights coming up in early 2021. And hopefully, again, this will be the best. This will be probably the best, at least a better year for combat than we had in 2020. So let's see. And ideally, we want that. We want the big Joshua fight to come Joshua and Fury fight to come, and we'll hope that the underworld, of organized crime, if they can figure that one out for us, so be it. Yeah, whoever can get the job done.
Yeah.
All right, dude. Let's peace out.
No worries, man. See you in a bit, man. Yeah.